Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. This is a genuine belief of mine. I think the reason why conservatism or conservatives are viewed as less favorable or less popular in terms of the general culture is largely due to the fact that conservatives are more principled. Big statement, and I know there's probably maybe a couple leftoids pulling their hair out of their head hearing me say something like that, but I'm standing by it. That is my view. You know, from my view, conservative politics is grounded in a system of cultural, religious, and economic views. And even if some of those views aren't necessarily marketable or sexy, conservative-minded people stand by them. It's a culture of beliefs and standards that in some cases are unpopular because some people view these beliefs and traditions as judgmental or holding on to old standards. Yet despite, I guess you could call it, the political repercussions of standing by those beliefs, conservatives tend to stand by them. I think the issue of abortion is a great example. It hasn't exactly been smooth sailing since the axing of Roe v. Wade, yet it's a conservative belief and people stand by it. You know, in a way, it's in the name. It's about conserving these values, conserving common sense principles and cultural standards that are viewed as beneficial to society. You know, not just throwing it away in the name of secular liberalism that opts for convenience and feeling good above moral standard. Conservatives have their principles, and they're not willing to budge, at least not much. Leftists, however, or leftist ideology in the Democrat Party, seems to just go with the wind. I mean, just take a look at where the Democrat Party is today compared to where they were like 10 years ago. It's a completely different political party, philosophy, and ideology. You know, a lot of these modern leftist stances would be viewed as totally unhinged and extreme, not by conservatives, but by liberals as recent as 10 years ago. If you went around pushing the dogmatic beliefs of the leftist mob during the early Obama years, so a little bit more than 10 years ago, but, you know, pretty much the same story, you would be viewed as a radical. It's a constant flip-flopping, ever-changing, going with the flow political culture. Because all that matters in modern leftism is appealing to, I guess let's call it a psychological factor, appealing to a specific person, pandering to a group, or shifting policy depending on where the polling data suggests you should go. We have seen this time and time again, and we are seeing it once again. The question is, what do leftists stand for? What is the actual belief? Because to me, it seems like the belief is whatever the polling data says we should do. We're talking about the border wall today. After years and years and years of moral outrage, after applying every label under the sun to anybody who even suggests that a wall be built on the southern border, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it seems as though we have now reached a point where the border wall is now once again supported leftist policy. Excuse the longer than normal video intro, but hopefully it all comes together and you see the point I'm trying to make. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so you are not going to believe these two little sets of data. Here's the first one from Quinnipiac. Approval for building border wall with Mexico reaches record high. Do you support or oppose building a wall along the border with Mexico? Back in May of 2017, so this was just a little while after Donald Trump's initial inauguration, after winning the 2016 election, 33% support and 64% oppose. Fast forward today, the majority of the American population, when polled, supports a border wall at 52% to 44%. Fox News did a similar poll as well. A record number of voters are now in favor of building a US-Mexico border wall. Do you support or oppose building a wall along the US-Mexico border? 57% support and 40% oppose, with 53% of independents supporting and 27% of Democrats. But this poll from Rasmussen is by far the most shocking. They released this tweet right over here. Supposedly Democrats only, 82% of which polled believe inflation is an important issue for 2024. 81% say inflation is a serious problem for them now. 78% say violent crime is an important issue. 76% say immigration is an important issue. And the craziest number I never thought I'd see the day, supposedly according to this Rasmussen poll, Democrats only, 62% approve of more border wall construction. Now, maybe that's a little bit of an outlier, but it doesn't really matter because it's pretty much following the trend, even though it may be, let's just say, a little bit aggressive or a little bit ahead. Democrats are getting on board. The polling data is suggesting that Donald Trump and his extremely controversial campaign pitch from back in 2016 is gaining serious steam. It seems as though Trump was right, and it's not just Republicans, it's not just independents, but also Democrats who are getting on board. That's what the polling data is telling us. And so where do you think I'm getting at? Well, now, all of a sudden, Biden's DHS and Democrats seem more open than ever to constructing a border wall. You see what I mean? They go where the polling data takes them. That's why they're such incredible flip-floppers. That's why it's so easy to get a clip of Joe Biden from 2006 opposing gay marriage, but now all of a sudden he wants to pretend as if he's an advocate and always has been an advocate since the 1950s. That's why whenever I make a video like this, I always play these clips.
It makes sense that no great nation can be in a position where they can't control their borders. So I think the combination of virtual fencing, some fencing, additional border patrol is important.
I voted numerous times when I was a senator to spend money to build a barrier to try to prevent illegal immigrants from coming in. And I do think you have to control your borders.
Real reform means stronger border security, and we can build on the progress my administration's already made, putting more boots on the southern border than at any time in our history.
That's why we saw in 2018, Democrat left-wing media was writing all of these stories about Ukraine and Ukraine's, quote, Nazi problem, but then all of a sudden, that problem disappeared the moment standing with Ukraine became part of their political ideology. It's constant flip-flopping. They go where the polling data takes them. They don't have a set of beliefs based on common sense principles, possibly religious views, historical precedent, or basic economics. No, it's whatever can benefit them right now in the next election. Wherever the polling data is going, that's where they're going. I can't associate myself with a group like that, and frankly, it's part of the reason why I appreciate Donald Trump so much. Trump gets in trouble all the time, you know, his mouth gets him in trouble. That's kind of why I like him, because he's willing to say the hard truth that nobody else is. He's willing to take the stance that others are too scared to take because they view it as politically risque, as politically disadvantageous or dangerous. And that's the danger, because the elites who control the culture don't like it when someone comes in and exposes their plans and offers common sense solutions. They don't like that at all. And the border wall from day one was exactly that, a common sense solution. But if you even mentioned it, you were a racist. It had nothing to do with protecting domestic interest, protecting American workers, protecting young victims of human trafficking. It had nothing to do with stopping potential terrorists or gang members from coming into the country or stopping massive loads of substances being smuggled in. No, they reduced it to you're a racist. Well, now all of a sudden by that logic, it seems as though a good chunk of Democrats fit that bill. The dishonesty and the hypocrisy sees no end. And most of it is elitist and media dishonesty and hypocrisy, but in today's world, that's the same thing as leftist hypocrisy, because whatever the elites push on the media networks is what becomes the popular view within leftist circles. That's where the NPCs get their programming, from exactly that, TV programming. I guess pretty soon we're going to be seeing leftists chanting "build that wall," as ironic as that is. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.